This video is made for adult collectors because this hound is not a fat ballerina. I wanted to see how many of Age of Extinction Hound's guns you could get onto like Legacy Hound or 86 Hound or whatever this is. And you can get a lot. But yeah, those ones they don't like staying in very well. But you can deck him out. That's kind of funny. Hound. He has no heels. So I really like Legacy or 86 or whatever it is Hound. I like him a lot, but I've always wanted a Universe Hound because I just thought it looked interesting, and I finally found one. So will it be replacing my Legacy Generation Selects 86, whatever the hell it is, Hound, or is it gonna go back to a baggie and in a storage bin for now? Well, let's find out. Yay. Interjecting here just to put this out there, but again, if you're going to TFCon LA, I will be there. It's next weekend, the coming weekend. I don't know. It's March 7th to 9th. Today's my birthday. I need to get this done before I can go do other things. But yes, I will be there and I will see you guys if you want to come say hi. There is a panel, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, back to Hound. This is Hound missing Ravage and his missile launcher. And this is Hound from the Autobot United 5-pack. And these two are actually the same size. Wow, I was expecting the new one to be smaller, but no, they're the exact same size. I like that. I do really like the stylized take of the old one with them using actual alt mode parts to be giant chunks of limb, like them using the back of the truck to be the feet, like they do with Prowl, and how the thighs are made up of folded up seats. The beefed up grill on the front and the bull bar sticking out, it all looks really cool. I also like the way the wheels are on the back, though I did break this. I did it. It isn't the toy's fault. I just pushed this armature past where it was supposed to go because I wasn't looking at any instructions when I was trying to figure this out. And it snapped at the top part of the hinge, so pain. Thanks, me. Head is tiny though, like really tiny. It's a nice head sculpt, but it's just very small. The light piping is nice though, how it catches the light. Even with all of my lights on, you can kind of see it working there. His arms are very little. Like the proportions of this figure are just a bit funky, matching that 2006 to 2010 Generations aesthetic, but I like that aesthetic. I am surprised they were able to mash in a thigh swivel into these like seat thigh things and ankle tilts on a 2008 toy. That's pretty epic. Now, the new one is a bit more proportional and G1 accurate. I have talked about this mold before in the big 5-pack video, so I won't dwell on this too much here, but I really like the way this looks and feels. It's super solid. I dig the colors. The head is a much nicer size. The weapons look sharp. They're not actually sharp though, don't worry. His back is just a void, but so is the other one, so it's not really terrible. And just for shits and giggles, here's Detritus, because it's the same mold. It's a pretty funky lineup. Oh, and Age of Extinction Hound, because why not? I wasn't expecting this to be as posable as it is. It is still missing a lot of stuff that this has, but like it's pretty cool. So to start with, the head is on a ball joint and this little like shifting panel for transformation, but that means he can look all the way up if you want, and you can look that far down. You do have a little bit of side to side head tilt, and the head can rotate. These wheels can move in and out, like I said, and as I said, I broke this one. The shoulders are on ball joints. They can do a full 360. They can go in and out, and surprisingly, they're not super loose. Even like given this thing's age and how it was treated sitting at the bottom of a bucket, but like they're fine. You have bicep rotation, 90 degrees of elbow bend, nothing at the wrist. There's no wrist swivel. There is also no waist joint due to this like entire armature down here. This crotch flap does move, and it does move up, so you can accommodate the legs going forward all the way, and they can go back that far. They can go in and out. Again, I am like surprised they got a thigh swivel in here. I always thought this figure didn't have one because you can't really see it from the front, but it's under there. It's under the seats. When you bring the thigh swivel in this way, this piece does bump into the seat. However, you can lift the seat up, go like this, and then close it if you need that. 90 degrees of bend at the knee, and then the ankles can go down. They can go up, and they've split the bumper so that he has ankle tilt, which looks weird, but is very, very cool. All he's missing is a waist and wrists, and he would be like a modern day Hound. It's kind of nuts. However, these gaps here, I know that's gonna bug some people because they are huge and unsightly and in your face. And the feet do look a bit strange, so getting him in poses makes it look like he's wearing like really, really big shoes. But yeah, he's still really nice. This Hound he's modern. You got your head on a ball joint, though the head has less articulation than the original figures. So this one has rotation, but not a lot of up and down or tilt. Shoulders are on universal joints. They can go around all the way. You got in and out. You have bicep rotation, 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. You then have a wrist swivels, which is nice. And if you unpeg the shoulders, you can get backwards butterfly action going on there. It does have a waist swivel. The hips can go forward. They can go back, in and out. You have Whoops, unpeg that. You have 90 degrees of bend at the knee, but only when the hip is out this way. If the hip is forward like this, you get a little bit under because the wheel hits the crotch, and then you have insane ankle pivot and a toe joint. So a little bit more posable, a little bit more fun to mess with, not as limited. It's just a tiny bit of a nicer experience, but it's still insane how much they're able to throw into this for the time and given how it transforms. So I kind of like this quite a bit, even if it doesn't have a wrist or waist or toe joint. But putting them together as robots, I think I still like the new version just a tiny bit more. The old one is very nice, but the new one is just a little bit better for me personally. But the robot's not the only thing a transformer does. Well, unless you're buying like a 3.0 product or something. Let's get on to the alt modes. So let's get them into Jeeps, starting with the old one. So to start with, we're going to flip the hands in. They're really stiff. Oi, there we go. Get that into place. Then we're going to take the wheels, and I'm just going to flatten them out here just to get them out of the way. Then we're going to take the entire torso and unclip it and swing it up. The head is going to go in as you bring this all out, and then this will tab together. It kind of reminds me of Reactivate Bumblebee a little bit. Then you bring the wheels up and in, and they're going to just clip into place there. Then you take the arms, swing them up and over. They're going to just tuck. They don't peg in, they just sort of tuck into here, but they sit there. They sit there fine. Take the hip skirt piece and bring that down and flatten it out. We're going to peg the legs together. Then we're going to take the back of the legs here and bring these up. Then you're going to fold it in at the hips. Then you're going to bend it at the knees without pushing those in. Bend it at the knees to tuck all of this in, and it will peg into the sides here and here. And then you bring this section back and up. Then you fold up the seats, and then you flip out these little clips here. This is for Ravage, which I don't have, but that's how he plugs in. Whoops. And that is your Jeep in vehicle mode. That's pretty interesting. I'm not a huge fan of the mid section. It's a bit fiddly at times, but it's very clean the way that works, and like they nailed that interior. That interior looks awesome. On the flip side, Hound here from the 5-pack, easy to transform, doesn't have that nice of an interior. So to start with, after taking the weapons off, we're going to bring the windshield up and just unpeg the arms and bring the torso up. Then take the arms and fold them in to the inside with the peg right here, or port, sorry, facing the belly. So bring that in and rotate the forearms. Then you open up the legs. This is really, really genius, the way that they just sort of eat the whole robot up like this. That's cool. Reminds me of the RID Viacon from Prime, but on the side as opposed to on the front. So you bring all that around, you peg that into place, then you fold the feet down, then you peg the arms in to the bottom sections here without scratching them. That's a good idea. And then once you have that done, you just take the guns, peg them into the back, and that's your vehicle. A lot easier and a lot quicker to do than this, but both are just as solid, I'd say. They're both fun to do, even though there's a little fiddly thing in the middle here that I'm not a huge fan of. I think they're still pretty nice. Yeah, the new one is a little bit simpler and more satisfying to transform for me. The old one has some really cool flips, like I said, but the new one is just a bit more basic, and I like that. The alt modes, though, the old one has a full-blown interior with seats and a steering wheel. The seats are huge, which do look a bit funky, but like they have to become thighs, so it's whatever. I still think they're cool. It's better than whatever the new one has. That's just like some bits. There's nothing in there. The old one also does have a spot for Ravage, which is cool. Again, I don't have Ravage. I also like the chunkier tires of the older Deluxe. However, the new one, they painted the rims, and I really like that color breakup. They both feel about as solid as you would expect. They're about the same in their solidity. And yeah, the older one has paint chipped on the front a bit, but that's what happens when this thing's been living at the bottom of a bin for all these years. But which do I prefer more? Because they're both pretty solid figures and vehicles, but I think I prefer the new one just a tiny bit more. While the old one has a very nice alt mode, the transformation and the robot definitely go to the new one for me. Not that the old one is bad, it's pretty good, but the new one just inches it out a bit more, with 2 of the 3 aspects of a Transformers toy being a little bit nicer to me personally. But which one do you prefer? And which one would you get? Because this new Hound, kind of annoying to get one. I know a lot of people don't really like the way that they distributed this thing, and I mean, yeah, same. You have to buy a pack of 5 toys to just get Hound, which is what most people wanted. But if you're like me, that entire 5-pack was worth it because I didn't have any of those figures. I'd sold most of them. But that's my look at Universe and Legacy 86 5-pack Gen Selects, whatever, Hound. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.